When it comes to real estate, everything matters. Whether you're a realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title is here to inform, entertain, and inspire you. Host Bill Napick from Stewart Title will talk with guests about what really matters when it comes to owning, buying, and selling real estate. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title starts right now. Here's your host, Bill Napick.
And welcome to the show, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Thank you so much for joining us. Once again, we go forth to entertain, inform, and sometimes even inspire. We might do all three of those right here today. So whether you're listening in Houston, Texas, the Woodlands, you might be in California, I don't know, wherever you are, we have tremendous content right here on this show. And our first guest, you may have heard him earlier in the day on a show called The Real Estate Rat Pack. He is known as the godfather of real estate and so many other things. His name is Rob Cook. Rob, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I come bearing good news, actually.
Well, in fact, you have your credentials are so impressive. In addition to being one of the hosts on the Real Estate Rat Pack, you have been the chairman of HAR and so many other things. But the thing that's so cool is that you're right there. You have the facts, the figures right there. So you're going to bring forth some statistics for us today. Let's tell people what's going on.
Well, you know, every month I get 196 pages of statistics. We actually send all our stats out from our MLS system out to the Texas Real Estate Center in beautiful Galt Station, and they spit it back out. And so I've actually printed out the first 10 pages, but there's only a few things that you really need to know that's good. It's all good news.
Remember Joe Friday, just the facts.
Just the facts, ma'am. And so
just the good news, or even bad news.
We take a look at single family, which is typically what we look at. We do have some categories in here where they took single family and combined it with new home construction, but I never like that statistic because not all builders put all their product on the MLS system. So I don't like to use that one, but I do like to use existing homes, what we call resale. And basically, you know, we had 6,902 closed, and this is for July because we're not finished with August yet.
So the numbers aren't in.
The numbers aren't in yet, folks. And so 6,902 homes sold, up 9%. And so when we had
6,902 homes were sold in the month of July.
And the value of that was $2,054 million, and a bunch of other numbers right after that, up 13%. Average price is now $297,606, which is up 4%. And the median price, which means half sold above, half sold below, was up 6%. So this is all good news. You know what?
That's a lot of homes.
Do you know what's down?
What's down?
Inventory. Everyone goes, well, I can't get my house sold. Well, certain price ranges are experiencing a slowdown. You know, those top oil executives were buying the $700 to $1 million homes. They're not out in the marketplace. So you're sitting on homes for a while if it's in that price range. But if you're sitting around the, you know, probably $250 to $350, we need it. So if you're thinking about it, if you're sitting on the fence,
spot.
If you're sitting on the fence, put your house on the market.
Make sure you have a place to go, though, or make sure you have a plan at least.
Yes, make sure you have a plan and contact your realtor because your realtor's in the know, somebody that knows your area and knows you and knows what you want and get you through the process. And always hire a professional.
I believe in that. That is exactly right. And when we think about this number, the 6,002, when we talk about, we're calling that the greater Houston area. So let's say someone's listening in, I don't know, Pennsylvania, wherever else. My point is that they may not know Houston like you and I know it or sit in traffic like you and I sit, but Houston is really spread out. So how far does these statistics capture?
Actually, we cover 7 counties, and so we're covering over 600 square miles of just Houston alone. So it's a pretty widespread blanket. So it goes out a long ways. And also in our market, we also allow people from other cities to join our MLS, and so we have different areas for that too. But most of these stats are for Houston proper.
That's incredible. And they say, Rob, we say it all the time, hey, this is the 4th largest city, but people are correcting me saying it's soon to be, or some are saying it's already the 3rd largest city. It's a big place.
It's not a contest. It's just the best city.
Well, that too, yes.
We don't care about the numbers. And so, but, Jim Gaines from the Texas A&M Real Estate Center actually gave a statistic one time that I found pretty startling. He says Houston area does as much business as 33 states.
What?
Combined. My
goodness.
Yes.
That's a lot of states.
Well, you get some states, we're 37,000 members of the Houston Association of Realtors. A lot of states, they're maybe 1,000 member for the whole state. I mean, we're
robust.
We are 800-pound gorilla.
Now, you've been in the real estate world for, let's tell people how many years.
Do I have to?
Or not?
Well, I got my license in 1979, so do the math.
Okay, 79. That's incredible. So, and that's the fun thing about people. I got here in Houston in 1982, took a short year-and-a-half hiatus to Rhode Island, which was fascinating, by the way. No one wants to hear that now, though. But it's fascinating to see the growth, even from 82 when I got here. And my first office was at Woodway and Post Oak, so that was kind of cool right there, 610 Loop, 4801 Woodway. If you're doing you want to check on me, that's where I was. It's a great spot.
I know exactly where that is.
But the point is, the city has grown unbelievably. And imagine the 70s. What was it? Let's take a trip down memory lane.
Well, I moved to Houston in 75. I am a transplant, so I was not in real estate at the time. I was with a retailer, and then realized that retailing is not my future. I wanted to actually be able to make some money and have some time. So I moved into real estate in got my license in 79 and started really practicing in 80. And I did commercial for the first 7 years. I was also a home builder in Sweetwater, and I developed Hall Lake and built out in Hall Lake back in the 80s, back in the strange old days. And then I watched, well, first of all, the Frost Ranch, where First Colony was just basically cranking up. Sweetwater Boulevard wasn't built yet. I mean, it has, just watching Sugarland alone.
It's interesting to see the growth.
Amazing to see the growth, and of course we're not restricted like a lot of cities who are landlocked. You know why houses in San Francisco are so expensive? They have no place to go. We just keep going out west, keep going out northwest. We're kind of restricted to going southeast because that darn old Gulf got in the way. But for the most part, we have lots of areas that we keep going out. And we were just talking about Tomball a little bit earlier with the fine folks that are in the room with us. Is that used to be country.
Sure.
I rode my motorcycle out there, and now I have to go through all these traffic lights. I'm going, what is that about?
And I remember seeing pictures of Woodway and Voss where that was a dirt road. I love looking back into time here in Houston since we've got to know.
Westheimer stopped basically at Derry Ashford and was a 2-lane dirt road when I first moved here.
Fascinating. What other statistics should we know about?
I think those are the primary ones you want to know.
But wait a minute. Was June... Did that outpace the July numbers? Because people kept saying June was so dynamic.
June's number were good. Again, we're coming off of a record banner year, even though we had Harvey, which is going to be a good segue to our next conversation.
That's right.
So we had a very robust June. Numbers were high. We were up. And that's what people should know. Now, we're not up hugely. These are single digits. But up over a banner year is a lot of business.
Well, I was thinking about Harvey as we're here at this year anniversary, and I started was reading a book by Simon Winchester, actually 2 books. One was on audio, one was a kind of a picture book, but it was about weather. And I learned a few things in that. Apparently, he says all weather for the world, at least 80 to some percent, starts in the Pacific Ocean. Don't know how that is, but it is. And then he also had a thing about disasters and hurricanes, tornadoes, things like that. But I didn't realize. I thought that, well, yeah, Houston were vulnerable, New Orleans, Florida. But actually he brought forth I think it was Sandy Hook, New Jersey or something. Even the Northeast can be damaged in
absolutely
in horrible ways, just like we have been. So, sometimes we think it's about us, but that Northeast, New York City.
We can send a thank you note to the state of Florida for catching most of the hurricanes and divert them off of us. But
you're going to be in charge of that effort.
Yes, absolutely. But Harvey was an anomaly. But I tell everybody, we had a pretty huge disaster last year. 80% of the people impacted did not have flood insurance. And I've always told all my clients, I said, Houston's a flood zone, period.
The whole thing. We always recommend
some are
flood.
higher rated than others. And, of course, you all are sponsored by an insurance company, and they'll get on and tell you,
that's where
if you're not in a high-risk zone,
that's right.
It's cheap. It's $450 a year.
I just got my bill, and that's exactly right. $450 is my flood insurance. It's due in October. Of course, I'm going to buy it.
My 30-second elevator speech is: if you get enough rain in a short enough period of time, anywhere will flood. We're flat. We're 50 foot above sea level, and it's mostly flat. If you get too much, where's it going to go? And
that's
of course,
right.
We were talking before the show about Meyerland and people raising their houses in Meyerland. And one of our great sponsors for our show
and this guy, I listen to your show all the time, as you know. He raises the houses. How high? Was it 6 feet?
He said he raised one up 12 foot.
What? I didn't know it got that high.
A person looked at it and goes, I think I want to park underneath my house.
I heard that the last show.
I said, isn't that a little odd looking going in the subdivision? Everybody's slab on grade, and all of a sudden you got somebody up 12 foot? And he goes, yeah, it looks a little odd.
Looks like Galveston.
They'll be a little dry. And I had a friend who raised their house in Meyerland, and he'd been flooded through all 3 floods. And my story about that is, we had the tax day flood of 2015, Memorial Day flood of 2015, the tax day flood of 2016, and Harvey in 2017. And they all call those 500-year or 1,000-year occurrences.
Sounds like annual to me.
Sounds like an annual one to me.
Well, the guy that's raising the home where he could put his car underneath it, it sounds like he's willing to sacrifice the car. Do we not care about the car? That's the sacrificial element.
Well, you've gone through it. You fled.
I lost everything.
So you know what it's
except
like.
the dogs.
Except the dogs, and that was close. You had help.
I had the fireman carry the one dog, and I carried the little one that's temperamental.
You had an angel on your shoulder, without a doubt. But cars are cheap compared to the cost of rebuilding houses. But a friend I had raised their house in Meyerland, raised it up. They were going to do it 6 foot. They only had raised it 5 foot. And of course, according to Chapter 19 of the City of Houston, not only have you get out of the 100-year floodplain, you have to get out of the 500-year floodplain. But the thing is, our 500-year flood maps aren't that current. So we're kind of guessing. And so he raised it up 5 foot. But can you guess what that cost?
I forget, $250,000?
$277,000. And that did not fix the interior. His response was, "I love my house." I go, "I guess you do."
Well, and he loves his house and must have had the cash reserves, I guess, or
really
took
great
the
insurance.
Yeah, or insurance.
Yeah.
And Rob, let's tell people this. By the way, the sponsor, the guy that raises the houses, I listen to him. Who is that company?
It's Leon Foundation and John Dowdy.
He knows what he's doing too. I hear him all the time.
We actually had him on as one of our first sponsors for the show, and we're in our 6th year now. And he's with another foundation company. He knows his stuff.
Again, his name is?
John Dowdy with Leon Foundation.
And before we close out the segment, Rob, the Real Estate Rat Pack is having a tremendous run. I've been honored to be your guest host every now and then. But let's tell people, in case they have not heard of it, or if they're listening far and wide, they could go to realestateratpack.com, right?
Exactly. realestateratpack.com. Of course, we stream live, not this Saturday because we're taking the weekend off, but typically we'll be on my co-host's Facebook page, Chris Kelso, the Maestro of Mortgage, and streaming live on that. And afterwards, we're goofing off and making breakfast for everybody. So it's a lot of fun. And we're on the same station, 100.7 FM, 9 o'clock, typically live. And so you can call in at 800-808-5548. But not today. realestateratpack.com. Rob, before we close out, anything else you want to tell people? I just want everybody to have a very safe and sober Labor Day weekend, and be careful. We will be doing all that, ladies and gentlemen. Rob Cook with the Real Estate Rat Pack and easy for you to say, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Anderson Properties. Look at that. I got it for a change. And we're going to come right back with even more. Stay with us. Thank you, Rob. Thank you.
Most people don't know that Stewart offers business, home, and auto insurance. In fact, Stewart Insurance and Risk Management has been doing that and more for over 10 years. And they partner with many leading insurance companies to offer great rates. They're a national insurance agency operating in all 50 states, delivering a broad range of insurance products. Whether you need a home insurance quote for a client's home closing or your own insurance needs, you can count on them. Call 866-845-4676. That's 866-845-4676. Stewart Insurance and Risk Management is here to help.
And welcome back. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I'm your host, Bill Nampick, and now we're going to talk to Lewis Smith and Debbie Smith. We're going to talk about primarily, but some other things will probably come into the mix, Tealpointe Lake Estates. First of all, Debbie and Lewis, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good to see y'all. Well, let's tell people, first of all, if you would start out, ladies first, Debbie, tell people about Tealpointe Lake Estates and kind of where it is geographically.
Okay, so Tealpointe Lake Estates is located on Mooshkie Road.
Wait a minute. Let's say that again. Mooshkie Road. How could someone forget that?
You want me to spell it? Mooshkie Road in Tomball, Texas, and we're 1/2 mile north of the Grand Parkway.
Sounds like a great, and that's one of those areas that's really growing, isn't it?
It is, but it's still a good country type feel to it. So Tealpointe Lake Estates is an estate lot subdivision. We have, all the lots are 1.5 acres. At this point, everybody will have well and septic, and they will only have a custom home. And we have 3 preferred builders at this time that will be building homes in there that we'll ask buyers to choose from.
So that sounds really like a nice area of Houston to buy the lot and make the home, kind of like build it your own way, right? Mm-hmm. Have it the way you want. Some great builders. And also, Lewis, let's tell people your role there, Tealpointe Lake Estates.
Well, I'm the developer of Tealpointe Lake Estates. and we purchased the property in 2010 and started our development concept. And since that time, the area has begun to really grow. The Grand Parkway was built. Harris County Flood Control District bought a property to the north of us, and the Mischke Road is being widened into a 4-lane concrete boulevard. So the area is really changing rapidly. We're excited about Tealpointe Lake Estates.
Well, give us an idea. And also that we hear that we always think we know what things mean when we hear terms like broker, realtor, and all these things. But the term developer is used a lot. So let's tell people, we probably have an idea just by the very word developer what you do, but there's more to it than that. Let's tell people a little bit about what a developer does.
Well, a developer develops a property from the ground up, purchases it, constructs the improvements, gets all the permits, does the marketing, leasing, selling.
And going back to the beginning, I'm picturing, is this part of the role as well? When you develop a property, first, are you involved in finding it and saying, hey, there's a spot that would be great to, say, in this case, Tealpointe Lake Estates, right? So you see land and then you say, hey, this is going to be great. Is that part of the role as well?
Yes, it's it's a visionary role of projecting the future into a investment opportunity. Of vacant land is what we do. And so we'll go in for other people, discover the area and purchase the property and come up with our plan. And that's kind of what we did with Tealpointe Lake Estates. We have a unique development opportunity here where we have 1.5 acre lots. It's going to be kind of like an oasis out there because it will be surrounded by more suburban development. It's a gated community with a 9.5 acre lake, commercial reserves, and the homes will be built behind the lake. So they'll be approximately 800 feet from Mischke Road to begin with. So it's going to be very private. The lots are 1.5 acre, 175 by 375 depth. We'll have underground electrical.
Well, that's a nice feature.
Yes, and gas. And then the lots will be on their own well and septic. There's no mud district and there'll be no mud taxes. So it has a low tax rate, $2.28 per hundred.
So that's going to be nice. And I also like when we think about the role of the developer. I was going to say it if you didn't say it, the idea of it. It is a visionary role. And not everybody has that talent. But to be able to see land and to match that up with an idea and then to develop that idea, that's the word developer, right? Hey,
right.
I'm quick, Lewis. So anyway, but just saying, that has to be exciting, especially as you brought forth this idea and seeing it develop, and it still has a way to go, right? We have to have houses on it yet, but that has to be fun to be a part of that.
It's part of seeing something, creating a mural of something that's not there and watching it go forward and become a reality. It's very rewarding.
And Debbie, let's tell people, in case they're interested, I think those that live in Houston also have an idea geographically where it is. Let's tell people, if they're interested in developing and building a home on one of these sites at the Tealpointe Lake Estates. I'm looking at the map right now. People can't see it. But what's their next step and what should they do?
Probably just give me a call and I can give them a rundown, send them some information on the subdivision. It's not for everybody because it's a very exclusive subdivision.
Right.
So
and it's a big lots.
The homes are starting at $850,000. We can get those kind of things straight with people up front. And if they want to come out and look, then at this point we're gated and we're not letting anybody in until the infrastructure is complete. That's kind of what we're doing. So at this point, we're meeting people out there and we're taking them through and explaining to them the vision, because we've got our concrete roads in. It doesn't look like the rendering. And so we can kind of paint the picture of how beautiful the lake is going to look, and there's going to be a fishing pier and there's going to be a jogging trail around it, and it's going to be lit, and give them a good idea of what it's going to look like.
And certainly those that are going to press forward and buy the lot and thus have a home built and all that, they too have to have a vision too, but that has to be what they're looking for. As you said, it's not for everybody, but it sounds like a great place where you're going to be able to build that home the way you like it, and then you're going to have ample room. And really, and I like the idea of having all the electric underground. By the way, the first time I heard of that was back in the 70s. I guess it was a pioneering development back in Reston, Virginia, where they had everything underground in that. So that's pretty cool. But let's tell people again, Debbie, how many lots are there right now? And ultimately,
well,
homes?
we have 3 under contract. There's 51 total. And I do think some people will buy more than one lot. If you want a horse, you're going to have 2 lots.
So you can have horses there.
You can have a horse if you own 2 acres. So the lots are 1.5 acres, and we sell them 1.5 acre increments. So yes, you can have a horse. And we have our deed restrictions all done. So, you know, we have a minimum size. The minimum size for a 1-story is 3,500 square feet, and the minimum for a 2-story is 4,500 square feet.
And that's the minimum. Is there a maximum?
No.
Fascinating. Sounds like a great place to live. And as far as the builders, tell us a little bit more about the builders that are a part of this.
Well, so far we have 3 preferred builders: Morningstar, Mike Harrison, and William David. And they're all custom home builders. Mike Harrison's been in the business for 35 years. He builds custom homes in Houston and in Tulsa. And Cummins, who own Morningstar, have been doing this for 18 years. And they just put out a beautiful product.
They really do. In fact, one of the homes that he built, I don't know the size of land, I went out to it. And it, too, as we talk about horses, it had a barn. It had an equestrian theme, some of the rooms in the homes. It was really, really nice. Yes, Ted and Morningstar does very, very nice work.
Yeah. And then the 3rd builder so far, we may entertain another preferred builder, but right now we have 3. And William David, and that's David Sanders. He owns that company, and I think he got his start with Trendmaker, building for them, and then he went out on his own. I don't know how many years back, but they build a beautiful product as well, and they're building around the Houston area.
And I don't know what other people are thinking that are hearing us talk right now, but just the idea, whether it's a 5,000, 3,500, whatever the square footage is, I just like the idea of a new home, new construction. I think that's my next move, real estate-wise. I want a new home without having to renovate. And I think that probably some of the people that are going to be buying and building in your Tealpointe Lake Estates are thinking that same thing. I don't know.
Yes, they are. It'll be executives, people moving from the Woodlands and moving up from other subdivisions in the area that want to have their own place in an acreage lot and privacy. A lot of them will probably be surprisingly retired people that come in and buy and pay cash for the properties, and they just want to have their own place, and it has a country feel.
I like that. Yeah. And I would add to that, I bet it has like a country Texas feel that only we have here in this great state and this great Houston area. I'm just guessing.
That's right.
There you go.
We're from Texas. We'll also have a 100-acre park to the north of with 2 lakes that the north property line of all our lots will look onto. It's purchased by the Flood Control District, and then to the north of that is Kleb Woods Nature Preserve. So there'll be 239 acres of parks and nature preserve to the north of this property that we'll have access to from Tealpointe Lake Estates.
And give us an idea as far as the building, whichever home builder that, let's say I bought a lot out there at Tealpointe Lake Estates, whatever home builder I choose, what's the average amount of time that you would tell someone, Debbie, as far as how long that homes usually take? And let's say it's an average, I don't know, 3,500
Well, I met with
square feet.
Morningstar the other day, and we talked about that. And she said it takes 6 to 7 meetings to come up with a design.
So
they got to come up with their design, and she said that's a 3 to 5 month process, just those meetings. Okay, they really get into knowing the people and what the people want custom. You know, it's custom. And then overall, takes 12 to 14 months overall from start to finish to build a custom home.
So it sounds to me like they ought to get on it right now, right? And what should they do?
They should email us at info@Tealpointe Lake Estates, or give me a call at 832-444-6442. And Tealpointe is Tealpointe.
There you go. Tealpointe Lake Estates. The other thing I'm thinking about is our city is rapidly growing. We already mentioned that. And think about that. As far as Tealpointe Lake Estates or anywhere in that area, it's going to be interesting to see how that develops, but also the things around it. That should be fascinating. That's why it's one of the reasons it's fun to live here in Houston. Of course, the restaurants are great too, right, Louis?
Yes,
absolutely.
Definitely.
And before we close the segment, Debbie, what else would you like people to know? And remind them how they can reach out to you one more time.
Well, we didn't really discuss the absolutely wonderful amenity that Harris County has provided for us. Lewis spoke of it, but I want to paint a little bit of a picture for that.
Let's get the paintbrush out.
Because people really are into amenities.
Of course.
Okay, so there's going to be a beautiful lake at the front of Tealpointe. which has jogging trail around it and a fishing pier and a gazebo. But in addition to that, every lot on the north side of Tealpointe, which is approximately 25 lots, will back up to this Harris County detention pond, which is 2 very large lakes on a 100-acre, 2 lakes, and then jogging trails, and they're going to do a nature preserve. And it is a park. They have parking in there, but not very much. And the residents of Tealpointe will have a private gated access into the park. So anybody that likes to get out and do some jogging, or they just want to walk with their dog, this is going to be a beautiful place.
I want to do all those things.
Okay.
And let's tell them, Debbie, how they can reach you one more time.
Okay, so email is info@tealpointelake.com.
Very nice. And your phone number?
It's 832-444-6442, or you can go to the website, tealpointelake.com.
And Lewis, the last word from you. What else would you like people to know?
Contact Debbie, look at the website, and give us a call.
Very nice. Thank you so much. We're going to take a short break and come right back with even more on Real Estate Matters with Stuart Title. Thank you, Lewis and Debbie Smith.
Most people don't know that Stewart offers business, home, and auto insurance. In fact, Stewart Insurance and Risk Management has been doing that and more for over 10 years. And they partner with many leading insurance companies to offer great rates. They're a national insurance agency operating in all 50 states, delivering a broad range of insurance products. Whether you need a home insurance quote for a client's home closing or your own insurance needs, you can count on them. Call 866-845-4676. That's 866-845-4676. Stewart Insurance and Risk Management is here to help.
And welcome back. Real Estate Matters with Stuart Title. And now, speaking of real estate professionals, we have Jimmy Jones with REM Real Estate Professionals. Jimmy, welcome to the show.
Hey, Bill. Thank you very much for the invitation to be here. Just want to say thank you to our mutual friend, Roseanne, for introducing us to connect and having me here today.
Exactly. The one and only Roseanne Rogers. She does an incredible job, and it was nice that she said, hey, get Jimmy on the show. Here you are, that quick. Let's tell people about the area, Jimmy, and how you're approaching real estate right now.
Okay. Well, I'm a full-time realtor, and I'm with REM Properties in Sugar Land. My primary market is residential. Do it for Fort Bend County, but I've got clients all over the Houston area. I've been fortunate to have a strong network of support with friends and family that send me business. I also network with other professionals, business professionals that their industries overlap with real estate. The way I approach my business is basically, not just for people that are wanting to buy and sell or lease homes, but also, they have projects that they might need help with, and so they might need a professional referral. And so I try to connect people if I can.
And when we think about Houston, we're talking about growth all the time, and it is growing in every direction, from Pearland to Conroe, east, west, all those things. Let's tell people a little bit about what's going on in the Sugar Land area, the Fort Bend area, as you're there. And I don't know, are you resident in that area as well?
Yes, I live in Pecan Grove, which is Richmond. And, they've got vast communities that are growing out west of Grand Parkway. If you need a home or looking to sell one in that area, please reach out to me.
Let's tell people your number. We'll get right to that.
My phone number is 832-788-1973.
Jimmy Jones. And that's an easy name to remember, Jimmy, right?
Right. I get that
There's
quite a bit.
no spelling errors. When you say Jimmy Jones, people can write it down. They're not going to make any mistakes like they would with my last name. I'm just guessing.
Right. No, I get that. My name is a conversation item, and so, it either helps you start a conversation with me, or I guess the way I look at it is most people don't forget my name.
And that's a great thing. The other thing is that of all the things you could be doing, you're relatively new, as I understand, in the real estate world. But of all the things you could be doing, what is it? Why is it that you chose the real estate profession right here in the Sugar Land, Houston, Texas area?
Well, I grew up in the Houston area, Texas City, Texas, and the reason I chose real estate is I love just networking, building relationships with people. My background is investments. I've been doing it for 15 years. And the way I look at real estate is, one of the biggest investments of your life most people are going to deal with is either buying or selling their home. So the way I approach it is, continue to look at it as an investment, but also help them through the process of, negotiations, and contracts, just dealing with the encumbrances that you might deal with in real estate.
And actually, I think if people sometimes they don't think of it or broaden their thought like this, but certainly, yes, real estate is a big part. If we look at our portfolio, whatever we have in savings, 401k, all those things, we always want to factor in the real estate part. And sometimes when we do, we also are hopeful that it's going to appreciate in value, and most of the time it does. So they're taking a bigger picture from a financial point of view, taking a bigger picture of our portfolio, that real estate and what we choose in terms of buying a house or whatever property, that's a big part of our net worth and really our future.
Correct. Yeah. Real estate runs in cycles just like the market does. And, you're right. I mean, real estate appreciates, like you're saying, but, just depending on when you're actually needing to sell or wanting to sell, the market might agree or might not agree with
it's like
your timing.
It's like the poker game. I'm not a poker player, but I know that or it's like the stock market. Until you leave the table and cash in the chips, we don't know if we're ahead or not.
Right, that's correct. You don't realize the gain. Correct.
That's right. So let's tell people, as far as the selection, let's say someone is a buyer in your area that you're talking about, the Sugar Land, Fort Bend, even Pecan Grove. What are the selections? What can they choose from in terms of existing properties, and what about new construction in your area?
Oh, there are so many, obviously, communities that are out there, but there's new ones popping up all the time. In my area, like I said, I'm in Pecan Grove, and that's been there since the late 70s.
I remember when it started a long time ago, yeah.
Yeah, and it's beautiful. I mean, people that want, developed landscape, nice trees, mature trees, and so forth. If you got places like Pecan Grove, and they've got new communities that just came up. Harvest Green is right around the corner. They've got new developments in Katy, Cinco Ranch area as well. So, I mean, it just really depends on where you want to live.
Is there one price point that's selling more rapidly now, or how's that working?
Well, my market is mid to high end price points, and I would say right now the mid points are moving pretty fast. I think June and July, the average days on the market was 45. But just in my market specifically, I read just this week, I think it's slowing down a little bit, and I think that's because maybe people have shifted their thoughts towards school and getting the kids back in school.
I haven't, but some people have. Yeah,
Some
no,
people.
a lot of it's all back to school. That's every time I turn around, I'm seeing school buses, and back to school.
Correct. Well, but I think it's just human nature. I mean, once the kids are back in school, you start thinking, well, it's the holidays, so if I'm listing my house, maybe I'll pull it off the market and relist it back in spring or whatever. But from a buyer's perspective, I think there are opportunities to be had. From a seller's perspective, I think there's opportunity to keep it listed now because you've got less competition, so that means more eyes on your property.
And as I reflect, I like when I have purchased the last 3 properties, I want to say that I've always enjoyed looking and buying around the October to February range.
Right.
I don't know why. It just worked out that way, but there's something about it. It's a little more relaxed, and I like that time of year. It's a good buying season.
It's a refreshing time of year, and I think most people just reset, and I guess the way I look at it is, hey, the weather's cooler, so you can get outside and go look at some properties, and if you find one you really love, hopefully you've got your ducks in a row, you've been pre-qualified, and you're ready to put an offer on.
Okay, let's get the money bag out, Jimmy, and let's say, going again from the buyer's perspective, let's say someone has $400,000,
okay,
and they come to you and say, Jimmy, I want to buy the new construction. Let's take that. I want to buy new construction. I have $400,000 cash. What area in the area you work are you going to bring them to?
I'd probably start either with Harvest Green or out in Katy. There's the Lakes of Katy. There's Ansara. Are you familiar with that property?
Not that one, no.
There's a development out that way. It's west of the Outlet Mall. It's right across the freeway from Buc-ee's, if you know the Katy area.
I know the Buc-ee's and I know the Outlet Mall. So for $400,000, we're going to get a nice house at that price point?
Yeah, they've got various builders. I can't think of all the names of them right now.
There's a ton of them.
Yeah, there's so many different ones. And then, you see so many different developments, so it's trying to keep them all straight in your head. But call me, and I'll be happy to look through my portfolio of the contacts that I've made, and depending on what your, wants and needs are, we talked amenities earlier. Those are things that I can help you, narrow the focus.
And that's right. The idea of the amenities, people were spoiled here, I think, in the Houston market because of the competition, all the people moving here, and the idea that one builder, one development tries to outdo the other. That's the spirit of competition and the spirit of really of a robust economy that is, and we think about, we're here, we think it's happening everywhere. It's not. Houston really has a unique marketplace right now. It's been growing. Now, certainly there's other cities that you could say the same thing, but not all. It's very robust here.
So, one of the things I like to do is just fun facts about real estate. And actually, just this morning, I read, it was the Realtor.com did some research, and Houston is the number 2 market with regard to good pay and a strong real estate market. And so that's pretty interesting.
That makes it healthy, doesn't it?
Well, like you said, we think that this is happening all over the country, but maybe it's not.
Yeah, so we always have to bolster ourselves when we hear news from a national perspective, Wall Street Journal or anything else, where it talks about real estate. Yeah, we always have to dial back and say, okay, that's overall, but here we might be a little bit different. And Jimmy, say with the last 30 seconds or so in this segment, what else would you like people to know? And let's tell people how they can reach out to you.
I would just say if you're either thinking about buying or selling or leasing your home, please reach out to me. I'd be happy to help you navigate the process. Or if you have a home project and you need a professional, I might know somebody that can help you.
Jimmy Jones.
The way to reach me, I have a website. It's jimmyjones4realestate.com, and it's Jimmy Jones, the number 4, realestate.com. I'm also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, or you can go to the har.com website and find me there.
And if they want to give you a call?
My phone number, if you want to call me, is 832-788-1973.
832-788-1973. That's the year I was born, by the way. And Jimmy Jones, if they want to forget your name, they can't.
That's right. They can't. It's
by design.
It's in their head now.
Very nice. Thank you so much, Jimmy, for being on the show. We're going to take a short break and come right back.
Thanks, Bill.
So much more.
Most people don't know that Stewart offers business, home, and auto insurance. In fact, Stewart Insurance and Risk Management has been doing that and more for over 10 years. And they partner with many leading insurance companies to offer great rates. They're a national insurance agency operating in all 50 states, delivering a broad range of insurance products. Whether you need a home insurance quote for a client's home closing or your own insurance needs, you can count on them. Call 866-845-4676. That's 866-845-4676. Stewart Insurance and Risk Management is here to help.
And we are with Brittany Taggart. She is the manager of insurance communications here at Stewart Insurance and Risk Management. Brittany, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Bill.
Your company, Stewart Insurance and Risk Management, has so many distinctions.
Absolutely. So I think one of our distinctions is how well we know ourselves and how well we know who our clients are. And really, if you ask me what I do every single day and what our team does, we guide those who expect to be confident in their decisions so when life happens, they can return to normal. And really, if you ask me a little bit more about what that means, the key word in that is those who expect to be confident. And so what we're looking to do in the industry is have great conversations with people to make sure that they're confident in their decisions. A lot of times I think insurance is swept aside and we make quick decisions. We make decisions that maybe we haven't even spoken with somebody about. And so we're looking to just click a button and have our insurance, and that's great, except when it comes time, except when something happens and you're not able to return to normal. And so I think that we're really focusing on helping people understand their insurance and helping people ultimately be confident in the insurance that they have.
I think the thing right there to accomplish that, it's very simple. All they have to do is call your company, and talk to someone that talks in that way, where they ask the right questions, and they even ask questions that we didn't know to ask as a regular consumer.
Yes, that is exactly what it is. And you're absolutely right. First, it's connect with an advisor. Next, we actually go through these steps of building an insurance plan. And I say building because there are so many components. I think we have talked before about how insurance is very complex. And so there are many components to build, but it's important that we go through that conversation and we're able to actually build your insurance plan because it is just that important.
And when you say build it, it's important to build it to the person's needs and also to their interest in how much risk they're willing to assume or not.
What we say is proper insurance is different for everybody. Just because you decide to have lower limits or you decide to have high deductibles or low deductibles, it can all be proper insurance as long as you understand what you have and it fits you and it helps you return to normal. So we are trying to find each person's proper insurance.
And that, again, happens by talking to the right professional at your company. Let's tell people how they can reach out to you.
Yes, so you can always contact our team at 866-845-4676 to start a conversation. 866-845-4676.
And the other thing I'm thinking about, when they talk to one of your professionals here, the people here at Stewart Insurance and Risk Management are highly trained. Many of them have been here for many, many years, beyond 5, 6, 7 years. They know the business, but they're also very good at finding and helping people find the right insurance for their needs.
I would say so, definitely. And even the people that we've recruited recently, like you said, we have great training that they go through. Not only that, but we're very particular in who we hire in our organization. We think that people are a great asset to any company, right? And so to deliver on what we've just talked about here, we need to have great people, like you said, that understand the product, understand what types of questions to ask, and that listen to our clients to make sure that we're able to deliver on what they listen, what they pick up from a client. We're able to deliver the product that properly insures them.
Brittany, that sounds great. Let's tell people how they can reach out to you once again.
People can connect with an advisor at Stewart Insurance at 866-845-4676.
I'm going to call right now.
Please do.
Thank you, Brittany Taggart. And welcome back, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. As we close out the segment, a super thanks. She's right here, Becky Bohannon with Stewart Title. She brought Lewis and Debbie in here to the show. Becky, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
And also, I want to say you also brought our chief escrow officer or senior escrow officer. Her name is Cherish Road. She's here today, too, taking some photographs for us. So we really have a great representation from Stewart.
Stewart Title Tomball.
And
glad to be here.
How are things in Tomball right now, by the way?
Things are going well in Tomball. We're pretty busy. It has slowed down just a bit.
It's that back to school thing, I think.
It's that back to school thing, which is driving me nuts. I don't know how to work slow. So, but it's picking back up just in the last week. So hopefully it'll keep moving forward and we'll keep staying busy.
It's very exciting in all the locations. And again, we mentioned that growth, it's going in all directions. But that Tomball has been such a leader for so many years, not just this year.
We have an amazing office. We have amazing closers. We have Jane Matthews and we have Cherish Road. We have an office that has worked together for so long, you know, the same employees. We do have a couple of new employees, but we are like family. We all get along, and we are all...
Every day you get along?
We do get along, actually.
That
we have
is
a really good office, and we are all about customer service. You know, what I tell most of my agents is there are a ton of title companies out there. You know, we all offer the same thing. Yes, our escrow fee may be a little different, but what I strive with our office is that we are all about customer service. We are all about taking care of our agents, taking care of our customers. It doesn't matter what the price might be. We are all there to make sure that everybody feels like they are taken care of and that this is their number one priority.
It is the top service for everybody, the white glove treatment, so to speak. It's incredible. I hear it all the time.
Yes, it is. It's just important to me. I've been with Stewart Title. They say 15 years, but I consider it 18 years just because I stopped for a while when I had my son. And Stewart Title is my baby. Therefore, my customers are my babies, and I want to make sure that everyone is taken care of.
And I'm glad you mentioned the years because, by the way, I do have to say this. You reminded me this Labor Day weekend is my 50th-year anniversary because I remember 5 years ago, the day after Labor Day, I reported for work, and little did I know what a great adventure and what fun, and the ability to serve people has been just incredible.
Oh, my gosh, I love it.
And let's tell people, Becky, how they can reach out to you. I bet there's people right now driving around saying, I think I want to close my next transaction in Tomball with Becky.
Right.
And Cherish.
So that's right. So our phone number is 281-357-8277. My cell is 713-591-3319. And my email address is Becky, Becky, .Bohannon, BOHANNAN @Stewart.com.
In beautiful Tomball, Texas. Thank you, Becky, and
Thank
you,
you.
Cherish. Now she's back, Debbie Smith. Debbie, welcome back to the show with Lewis, her husband. Look at this. It's a team effort, right?
Oh, boy. Thank you so much.
Well, as we close out the show, Debbie, let's tell people what else should they know about Tealpointe Lake Estates or really anything else in the real estate world.
Well, I did want to mention that we do have 2 houses currently on the MLS. One is designed by Morningstar. It's around 5,500 square feet, and I believe it's $1,395,000. It is absolutely beautiful, and they designed it to go on the very first lot on the left, and it's designed to where it takes in lake views.
And is that in Tomball?
Yes, it is in Tomball.
Oh, there's so many great things, and those homes are just to have $1 million buys a lot. I don't know anywhere, but $1 million buys a beautiful estate, I would say, in Tomball.
Absolutely.
Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't think we got to mention the school district. It is Waller School District.
And that's a good one.
It has a good report card per my daughter, who's a school teacher.
Well, she must know.
She knows. But the really best place to go to school is right down the street, like a mile away, Rose Hill Christian Academy.
That's a
and
good one.
they're pre-K through 12th grade. So I would imagine a lot of people would put their children there.
That sounds good. Debbie, let's tell people how they can reach you.
So if you want to call me and talk about Tealpointe, my number is 832-444-6442. If you want to email me, that would be at info@tealpointelake.com. And Tealpointe, Tealpointe.
That's a fancy little spelling
It's
there.
so fancy. I have to explain it.
And that's going to be my new line. It's so fancy. I have to explain it. And now, Lewis Smith, married to Debbie, developer, Tealpointe Lake Estates. Lewis, let's tell people before we close out, what else do you want them to know? Talk to Debbie?
Talk to Debbie.
There you
come
go.
to the country, come to Tomball, enjoy the elevation outside the floodplain. It's a lot higher than Houston, as we have heard. Its elevation is 200 to 218 feet.
Oh, my.
We're high. We never flooded.
That sounds
and
great.
During Harvey, we were wonderful as far as that goes.
Sounds like an attractive feature. In fact, I know a guy married to his wife, and he said, in my house, I always have the last word, and it's yes, dear. I don't know if you heard that. But in the meantime, thank you so much, Lewis Smith. And now he's back, Jimmy Jones with REM Real Estate Professionals. Hey, Jimmy, welcome back.
Hey, thanks, Bill.
So here we are closing out the show. What else? You're covering the Fort Bend, Sugar Land, and anywhere else that you can go. What else would you like people to know, Jimmy?
I would just say if you're in the market to either sell your house or looking to buy one for the first time, or an investor or anybody in between, or even leasing a house, please give me a call. Love to help you out.
And you have the idea of the financial picture. You have the background in the financial world. So I think that just lends itself. It's going to be a great real estate career for you. And let's tell people how they can reach you, Jimmy Jones.
Thanks, Bill. Yes, it's my website is jimmyjones4realestate.com. You can also reach me at Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram, or you can go to har.com.
There he is, Jimmy Jones, 832-788-1973. Yeah, that's when I was born. Yeah. In the meantime, thank you so much for listening to Real Estate. Thank you, everybody here on the show, and for listening to Real Estate Matters with Stuart Title. I'm your host, Bill Nampick, and don't be sad that the show is ending at the time of broadcast, because it never really ends. You can always go to Stewart.com/Houston, Stewart.com/Houston. All the shows are there. That's right, every one except the first one. I think this is show 240, 239. We're getting up there, but in the meantime, you can hear all the shows and hear so many great guests talk about real estate. So, Real Estate Matters with Stuart Title, Stewart.com/Houston. And you know what? If you want to see these incredible guests, you can go to my YouTube channel. It's Bill Nampick Radio Shows. The K silent, Bill Nampick Radio Shows. We'll see you next week. Thanks for listening. Happy Labor Day. And until next week, we'll see you then.